everyone, and welcome to round 2 in my Wells Fargo theory videos. So in the first part, which I'll have linked up here, I discussed how Wells Fargo can enter the game as the 6th transfer partner, that they're leveraging their relationship with Bilt, that they are working with potentially American Airlines, but more likely Hyatt and KLM and British Airways, and looking at a Star Alliance partner as well as someone like JetBlue, right? So I think that's the more plausible scenario, but it did have another thought, and that thought was, what if Wells Fargo in quarter 3 silently bought Bilt outright? Bilt, the last known valuations for Bilt was they did a $150 million seed round with a valuation of $1.5 billion last October. I haven't really heard anything since. We haven't heard about any other seed rounds. We haven't heard anything new with potential financials as a private company. They don't have to list them. They're not going public via SPAC. They're not doing things that would indicate rapid growth, but we're seeing lots of interesting things over the course of the last year. We also saw 1 month where it was like 2 days before rent day before we found anything out about rent day. That was September rent day. My theory is Wells Fargo has bought Bilt, and they're going to bring Bilt in to become an even bigger financial services platform for Wells Fargo that extends not just revamping of their credit cards, but also revamping of their mortgage services, their car loan services, being a company that has direct ties with rental properties and expanding those rental properties so that Wells Fargo can become the everything finance company for you. Oh, and to boot, give you just as many benefits as Chase and American Express and Capital One. So what leads me to believe this? They already have a strong relationship with Bilt. They're one of Bilt's biggest investors. I'm not saying that Bilt ran out of runway or anything like that, but I don't know how Bilt came about continuing to pump through a lot of these great promotions that they've had for rent day through the past year. The World of Hyatt status match program. They had amazing transfers with Virgin Atlantic at one point, really strong transfers with KLM Flying Blue. It was kind of the question of how did they get that? What they might be doing with their rental alliance, what they might be doing with interchange fees. They've recently cracked down on the curve combo that they were being allowed for however long it was being allowed before I guess they realized how much they were potentially losing on that. And so it makes sense that they may have been bought out. And what institution would make the most sense to buy them out? Well, the biggest bank that's been banking them, Wells Fargo. Bilt can create a whole new platform for Wells Fargo to work out of. So Bilt currently has the Bilt wallet, which right now has Bilt dining, which allows you to collect points, and their Lyft partnership, to collect points in Bilt without having the Bilt MasterCard. So I take a Lyft ride, right, with my Chase Sapphire Reserve, I get 10x back on Lyft with that card. But if I link my Lyft account, I can get 2x back on every dollar I spend with the Sapphire Reserve and build out 2x Bilt points with their Lyft partnership. I don't have to have a Bilt card. I can do the same thing in the Bilt travel portal now, and I can do the same thing with Bilt dining, where if you are going to one of their partner restaurants, wherever you are in one of their partner cities, which is now New York, Georgia, Atlanta, Los Angeles was recently added, Washington, D.C. was added, Chicago, and I want to say Boston. So they're up to 7. Right? You go to a restaurant in any of those cities that is a Bilt partner, Bilt dining partner. You spend whatever you spend on the bill. You don't need to use your Bilt card, and you'll get 5x Bilt points on the bill. So I could use my Sapphire Reserve, get my 3x dining on that, and then 5x dining, 5x Bilt points on the same purchase, and stack things up that way, which is hugely valuable, right? So then if you use Bilt card, it would be the 3x dining plus the 5x, so 8x. And if you were doing it on rent day, it would be the 6x dining plus the 5x, so 11x back, right? So that would be huge. So I think Wells Fargo went ahead and purchased Bilt. With Bilt, they're going to get all of Bilt's transfer partners, so American Airlines, World of Hyatt, IHG, Turkish Miles and Smiles, Hawaiian Airlines, JetBlue, Virgin Atlantic, Emirates, United, and KLM Flying Blue. One more, right? Forgive me, I don't have my notes immediately in front of me. But you're going to get all of those. I'm sure they're also negotiating with Choice Hotels, since they already have a pre-existing condition with them. You'll have potentially 1 or 2 other airlines If Wells was smart, they'd be looking at other Star Alliance airlines. They could be looking at someone like unaffiliated, a really interesting one, potentially like Etihad or Qatar as a direct relationship, even though you'll have Avios through British Airways, which would also get you Finnair. And I feel like there's one more out there that it would be really interesting, but not necessarily one you'd think of. The last video I said Lufthansa, but it could be Avianca, which usually has some really strong transfers, or they look at even high-end hotel and sounding hotels like Accor Live, so ALL, or maybe they're working on getting in on the Marriott MGM deal. There's a number of different paths they could also take if they also bring in all of the pre-existing partnerships that Bilt had, right? And they want to keep Bilt Dining, they would want to keep sort of the Bilt brand and keep all of those strong programs, but also add in some additional ones, or just make all Wells Fargo travel through Bilt because that brand is pre-established, right? And start building out other Bilt cards, like the Wells Fargo autograph could just be rebranded the Bilt autograph card, which is exactly the same and could have a nice svelte clean black card type design, and then they could look at a higher end card, right? The other thing, and I think the most important part of a purchase of Bilt, has nothing to do with dining, has nothing to do with Bilt Wallet, has nothing to do with the Lyft partnership, has nothing to do with the SoulCycle partnership. Biggest thing would be the intellectual property that would be Bilt, that is now Bilt Protect, but would then become Wells Fargo Protect, right? And this would allow Wells Fargo to monetize or provide you points on all your loans. Imagine paying your student loans through this program. Imagine you had to take out a personal loan and you're paying back your personal loan, you're fixing your credit, you're doing those things, and you're getting points to transfer out on vacation. You do the same with your car loan, you do the same thing with your mortgage, you do the same thing with your rent, you do the same. It becomes all-encompassing of anything that doesn't take a credit card, or the fees for a credit card, the card not worth using unless you're hitting a sign-up bonus. You need to pay your taxes, go through Wells Fargo Protect. Points, you're all set. Don't have to worry about the 1.8, I think it's 1.87 is what one of the services charges. Don't have to worry about that. It just goes right through your Wells Fargo Protect account. You're making all your points on your taxes. Imagine what it can do on the business side of things and start building out those business relationships with Signify or the Signify cards, right? You can do the same thing, same setup, same service. Small business loans, you're getting points back. Business lines of credit, paying those back, getting points. The same thing for, I can't say like mergers and acquisitions or anything like that, but you can apply it at the small business, at a larger business, and potentially even at the commercial size, and generate so much revenue because of all of the people coming in to your system that it wouldn't make sense not to do it. I have a sneaking suspicion Wells Fargo may have Bilt knocks everybody else out of the park. If I'm right about this, and if they do it correctly, Wells Fargo becomes Goliath of nowhere. Of your 5-point earning systems, look at what's been going on with American Express. Look at what Chase does on a given day, not catering to your everyday needs. Telling you that the Freedom Unlimited has to be a 1.5% catch-all card. Telling you that the Link Unlimited at 1.5% is all you need. Now, I like both of those cards, don't get me wrong. But if you have a financial services system that can get you points on all of your debt, why wouldn't you go there? So I think that Wells has done something very sneaky, and I think that Wells has jumped into a lead that's going to be incredible. That's it for me. If you think I'm crazy, let me know down in the comments. If you like what I do, like, share, subscribe. Talk to you soon, and yeah, let me know what you think.